Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and we are returning to Strategic Command American Civil War, a new game out by Fury Software and published by Matrix and Slytherin Games. This is, if you're unfamiliar with the series that we're running here, and have been running for a while now, this is a turn-based Civil War game, which plays through the American Civil War in 2-week increments, so that's how long the turns are. It is an I go, you go setup, so first the Union goes, then the Confederate goes, and etc. And we are playing as the Union in this series. We have started to gain some momentum here. It is January of 1863, and we have sort of pushed the Confederacy south. We have taken Fredericksburg, and we're only a few hexes away from Richmond, so we're fairly close there. We have built up some of our forces here. We have also recently researched the second level of infantry weapons, which will give us an advantage on the field of battle if you know the Confederates don't do likewise. But we're only a couple hexes away from Richmond itself, the Confederate capital. We have also taken Norfolk in sort of eastern Virginia, as well as Elizabeth City. I believe that's in North Carolina. We've taken Fort Hatteras in the Carolinas. We are blockading Wilmington, Charleston. We've taken the port of Fort Pulaski, which closes the port of Savannah. And then we have additional blockade frigates off the coast of Jacksonville. Florida is largely underdeveloped and doesn't have a lot of ports there, but some of the main ports they do have are at Pensacola, which is blockaded. And then we have also just destroyed a Confederate ironclad south of Mobile Bay. Additionally, we have recently taken the city of New Orleans, and in this turn we've pushed as far north as Baton Rouge to take another Confederate capital. We don't have a lot of infantry down there in New Orleans, so if the Confederates do launch a counterattack, we may be a little bit vulnerable. We just have a couple of Marine units there, but our naval units should be able to help. Additionally, in terms of the actual ground campaign in the West, General Grant is commanding a force on the eastern bank of, or I guess technically the western bank of the Mississippi, in eastern Missouri, and we've engaged a large body of Confederates here. It feels like they're pretty strong, and we're having some difficulty in dislodging them. They've got a core unit here. We're trying to build up, but it's a hard place to fight logistically. We have had some success in Tennessee recently, just taking the city of Nashville, and we are poised to withstand a Confederate divisional counterattack, I'm assuming, by these 3 divisions at Murfreesboro, Franklin, and Lebanon. But if they don't attack there, then we're going to start pushing east. I'd like to go for Chattanooga, take Chattanooga, maybe drive on Atlanta. I'd also like to take Knoxville. That's another important objective in the game, although we do have a very small force under, it was General Burnside, it's now General Hooker, out near Knoxville, so we'd like to take that. If I'm not playing the Ken Burns soundtrack, then what am I even doing? I don't have the Ken Burns soundtrack, and I'm not just going to live stream straight through YouTube. That's just asking for DMC chicanery. All right, and we've also surrounded some partisans in West Virginia. We've already done our orders for this turn. We've also already purchased everything we want to purchase this turn. So I think we'll just end the turn and see what the Rebs have in store for us. We're in January, so it's not ideal campaigning season. Okay, so the Confederate fighting spirit is falling due to the loss of Baton Rouge. You can see that up here. Our gunboats are continuing to the Mississippi River. Thanks for the follow. Yes, well, just. Also, Elman, Parcelvus, Aus, McDuff. Apache warriors are raiding settlements in New Mexico because I can never fucking figure out New Mexico at all. And then we've got some bushwhacking stuff going on in Missouri. New Mexico is weird in this game. Oh, so exciting. All right, so some disruption in Missouri as well. Kentucky. I don't get the Kentucky piece. There should be no disruption in Kentucky. We're just playing the standard difficulty, Alka. Okay. All right, infantry tactics level 2. That's also nice. That'll help us a bit. And we're getting 1,400 MPPs for the next turn. New Mexico is weird coffee, I guess. Trying to think if I've ever been to New Mexico. Been to Arizona. Don't think I've ever been to New. They have another ironclad? Dear God. Just destroyed one of our frigates. How did they build 2 ironclads that fast? Okay, some of the units are reinforcing. I guess that's a good thing if they're devoting all that money to the Confederate Navy. Man, this is a slow turn. The AI does not usually take this long to think. Don't tell me it fucking froze. No, it's planning down here. Okay, so the Rebel Corps is going to waste their turn attacking one of our gunboats on the river. Okay, I'm okay with that. Some fighting near Harrisonburg at the southern tip of the Shenandoah Valley. Some of the native forces attacking some of our troops here near Carthage. We've also got some rebels surrounded there. Our own cavalry is just surrounded near Santa Barbara. I imagine they're going to die. Yep. That's not great. All right, troops in front of Fredericksburg are reinforcing. Man, this is just not... Some action in the west, but it's... Some troops shifting around in Missouri. You once went to a wedding there. It is weird. Wonder Wiener, thank you for the follow. All right, so that's the end of the rebel turn. Some attrition on those troops. France is continuing their invasion of Mexico, which I just don't understand the way the game models Mexico in this either. But whatever. Okay, so we lost the frigate Mississippi. Why do we have a frigate named after a rebel state? Okay. Meanwhile, we're interdicting a ton of rebel convoys. You can see our blockaders are getting much better at strangling the Confederacy, I think. New corps arrives this turn too. Nice. All right, so can we get this rebel ironclad? 3 and 3. We got 3 there again. Is it worth the damage my frigates are going to take trying to finish this bastard off? The answer to that is probably no. Can my gunboats even hurt the damn thing? They can. But mostly they just die. I'm attacking it the way I am because I'm trying to drive it away from its own ports so it has nowhere to retreat to. Oops. They didn't sink me. All right, does anybody have any attacks left? Problem is my ships here are too far up the Mississippi to get there. We do have 1 frigate, but it can't get there yet. Yeah, it is very Panzer Corps-y, I think. Okay. Got him. I will gladly trade that. Losing a gunboat for destroying another rebel ironclad. That's 2 ironclads lost by them in the last 2 turns. So that's a pretty substantial result for us, I think. All right, taking some of these western Louisiana towns here. Are there troops? Oh, I can't. My gunboats can't go any further upriver. I was going to ask if they have troops at Port Hudson. I would guess they do. Let's upgrade these guys to level 2 infantry equipment because we just got that. Reinforce our gunboats here. All right, I'm going to try and take these 2 additional towns just to solidify our hold on the western sort of portion of the Delta, and then we'll swing these guys around to support Baton Rouge. Maybe even drive to flank Port Hudson. God, we're so far up the Mississippi. They didn't attack at Nashville, though. That's interesting. All right, I'm just upgrading and reinforcing my troops in Kentucky and Tennessee this turn. Getting ready for the spring campaign season. Our morale is so goddamn low. All right. Paducah is ours. Fuck. How did my corps take that much damage on a surprise attack from Confederate cavalry? A corps took that much? Okay. I don't know about bombarding enemy cavalry with my navy. That seems like that's not playing out very well. But it'll at least hurt their morale. Okay, do we have more troops in Kentucky? We don't. The HQs provide supply, so if we hit the S button here, you can see that HQs, when in a town, typically will draw 10 supply and distribute it to the surrounding hexes. Certain towns get better supply than others. Certain hexes get better supply than others. Right now, Halleck's HQ right here is only drawing 6 of a potential 10 supply. I'm not sure exactly why, because the weather seems good. But in any event, like, the ideal thing would be to put Halleck in Nashville, and then he will generate and send supply around. But that would be too close to the front right now, so I don't want to do that quite yet. HQs also will influence how well the troops under their command fight. So you can see, like, these guys have much worse supply. They only have 2. There's no headquarters around them. All right, let's get this rebel brigade here at Carthage. Fuck. Okay. Huh. The Rebs do have a headquarters down here. Okay. Probably shouldn't have left this roadway unoccupied. Let's move this armored train up to, is it Jackson? Jefferson City? Okay, that does it for Kentucky. And Missouri, I think. Now I know there's troops at Knoxville, but I can't see them. I need some goddamn horsemen to like give me some intel. All right, let's attack the Rebs here. Oops. Also, when you attack without moving, you get a bonus. So, like, if you attack and then move, you're better off. Okay. All right. Okay, so made some progress here. I don't know why the rebels are stacking up so many of their resources in the west. Seems strange to me. But you can see here we're approaching Richmond. Some of these units still need to upgrade, and I already moved them, so I can't, but... Ah! Got my boys shot up. And so there's a rebel cavalry unit on our flank at Tappahannock. We nearly destroyed this brigade, but didn't, so we just pushed it back. Oh boy. So I moved my balloon unit forward. These guys have sort of aerial reconnaissance, if you will. They did exist in the Civil War. And you can see the rebels have a considerable amount of troops formed up near Richmond. They've got some engineers which are expanding these fortifications around the city. They also have a division and a brigade. This is the brigade we nearly destroyed. They also have a brand new corps, which just was raised in Richmond, and then a division to the southwest. So they've got some pretty good, some pretty sizable troop concentrations in this area. It would be nice if we could link up with the division we have near Williamsburg, and if we destroy this cavalry up here at Tappahannock, we can probably throw a right hook. I guess technically it'd be a left hook. Our right on the screen would be our left flank. You'd have to flip it around. But we could probably, if we destroy this cavalry, then we could probably swing some of these brigades east to destroy the fort at Williamsburg, and then maybe move these guys up the peninsula and sort of ring the Confederates there as we move along the western portion of the map. We are going to have to deal with all this rebel cavalry. Why don't they have supply there? Not enough to reinforce anyway. It's got to be the weather. It's snowy in the valley. I don't want to make that attack if I don't have to. Be nice if I could destroy these partisans. But I can't. Hey, we did! Just as I say I can't do it. Remember, you can do anything you put your mind to. What's the partisan situation there? So we got to keep at least one unit garrisoned at Philippi. We'll use this weak unit over here. I don't even know if they attacked. Meanwhile, some of the other troops and the headquarters are going to move west. We're going to use McClellan to try and drive down toward Charleston and take that town. And then maybe we can push deep through the Appalachians in toward Christiansburg, Wytheville, Chatham, Taylorsville, and maybe invade North Carolina from the west. That might be a little bit overambitious. But it should at least free up forces to retake Charleston and West Virginia. Maybe linking up with the Valley troops over here under Banks. Okay, so we have a new corps. That probably would be useful in the assault on Richmond. What about what's going on in North Carolina and New Mexico? And I'm going to reinforce this brigade up to level 2 weapons, or upgrade them. Can we deploy that corps at New Orleans? That would be interesting if we could. Nope. So I'm thinking Virginia is the most logical place to deploy them. Although they'd also be very useful in the drive in Tennessee. What's the supply situation south of Paducah going to be next turn? Pretty good. Okay. I guess the river helps. Yeah, I mean, this corps would be nice in a lot of places, but I'm going to deploy him to Virginia. And then that new gunboat's going to go to the Mississippi because we've got to replace all those losses we just took. Also, Farragut's Marines, let's go ahead and put them on long-range transports. And where do we want to move them to probably next turn? I'm thinking the next best place for us to try and take over for morale or helping the blockade is probably Jacksonville. Either that or Mobile. Mobile's a tempting target, but it's damn well defended. We've got a fort on the base. We can't bombard from there, I don't think. So it's going to require more than one unit, I think. I mean, the same's true of Pensacola. We can't get into the bay there. I don't have to make the decision this turn. We'll see about next turn. Okay, and then we also need to reinforce these guys. So purchase, what do we want to do? Well, I said I need more cavalry. So I guess we'll buy them. And then that leaves me with 293 left. We'll go ahead and, I think, pour that into research. So we're already working on naval tactics. Naval weapons is also pretty close. Ironclads we're working on getting better ones. Naval engines we're also working on. Each new level of fort modernization increases the ironclad attack value. Oh, just for forts, never mind. Spend that on cavalry equipment. And then we'll end the turn. See what late March, early April has in store for us. Okay. Oh my God. Holy shit. 2 ironclads? Where are these guys all coming from? They have a serious likelihood of raising the... I don't have the ironclads to fight all these guys. 2? I don't know why this is going so slow. It was much faster in previous playthroughs. All right, we got a cavalry fight. A couple of cavalry fights in Western Virginia. Nothing good happens in New Mexico. Just static. Enemy corps attacks the head of Grant's column. We got a really good result on that. We knocked out half the corps with a division. I think they probably didn't have intelligence, so they didn't know where we were, and they probably stumbled into us. It's the nice thing about this game and these series of games, but the Strategic Command series, is that the AI does, it seems, tend to play from the same rules as the human player. At least if you tell them not to. If you don't tell them not to. Because you can give the AI perks in terms of money and other things like that, but... And if you're on, you know, the damage that's being caused to these different towns, you can see most of them are dropping from something like 10 or 8 to 7 or 6. Like the lower value towns provide less supply. Also, it can hurt the economy in those towns, although that's fairly limited in a lot of the country. Give me good campaigning weather. Also, I don't know what to do about the morale of my troops in Virginia. So we lost a gunboat to enemy ironclads off of Charleston. Howard's HQ and a corps already. I would rather reinforce these guys. Get them up to full strength. I don't like the idea of force marching these guys. All right, Hancock, you're going to get on transports and move to Paducah. Enemy corps here. Problem is I'm going to push them back and they're going to retreat way far away so I can't hurt them. Right. Yes, we got him. Our own corps attacked and destroyed that enemy corps. Our divisions will march down this road. Ah! Well, I got my lead brigade shot up there, although they did some damage themselves. Okay, so we destroyed an enemy corps, which is a pretty big deal. Grant's gonna move his headquarters south, I think. Let's see what the supply situation is here. So it's 6 and 6. If I move it like that, that's 7 and 6. So it's a slightly better situation. Enemy division at Poplar Grove or Bluff. Price is a headquarters here with a battered up division. I don't really know we're advancing as we move down this side of the Mississippi. There's no objectives nearby, but the enemy army's there. Okay. These ships into these ports so they can repair. Do we want to try and destroy the enemy troops near Lebanon, the division there? We'll probably get surprised by enemy troops at Murfreesboro. We could just go for the troops at Franklin. But it's raining too, which makes me think it's maybe not the best idea. But I kind of already committed to it. Okay. Wait, move these troops back to Nashville. And then we'll move the cavalry down to Franklin. So one rebel division destroyed at Franklin. That town fell to us. Let's also upgrade the division here and brigade there. They still have a slight toehold in Kentucky, so that's probably something we want to deal with. Huntsville is ours. Let's pull these guys back to Tazewell. We'll leave Hooker out front. That's probably not the best place for him to be, but this way, I'm curious if them being positioned in a town in bad weather helps their morale. I don't really know how the morale mechanic works in this game at all, but I know the enemy has troops at Knoxville. All right, so we've got to leave the one brigade behind. Philippi. Going to keep these mountain divisions in West Virginia. I don't know what that is. That a maneuver metric there? The one next to the one for the Confederates at Harrisonburg? Okay, nice. So we drove them out of Harrisonburg. And and ran my own troops into a goddamn division. Alright, we're gonna move the Banks' headquarters up in a moment. Let's destroy this rebel cavalry here, as I said, to try and give a little bit of a right hook to the rebels near Richmond. I really don't want to go adjacent to the enemy with brigades of infantry. Alright, so we finished off the enemy cavalry there with my division. Move our corps up by rail. Move my headquarters around here. The effects don't sound like cannons or muskets. Do they not have the supply to upgrade or reinforce? They don't. Huh. So what's the supply situation going to look like next turn? I guess it is raining, but... No, actually the weather's good. It's not raining. Huh. Interesting. Goddamn engineers. Okay, so in theory, we've now linked up with the troops here to the right of Richmond. Ah! Suffolk ambush. Oh no, they have level 2 infantry weapons now. Rebel troops at Suffolk. Alright, we got those new troops. Or that brigade will land them at Elizabeth City. These guys are going to die probably next turn. But I don't want to lose Elizabeth City. Okay. Do we want to drive for Christiansburg? Probably not, right? Ah, I should have known better. Oh, they didn't attack me. Okay. Interesting. All right, so that does that. How are these rebels with 0 supply fighting so well here? Okay. All right, Carthage is ours. headquarter down there to give better supply. And then we can drive toward Joplin and down toward Pea Ridge in this slog of a campaign. My hope is to get down towards some of the native capitals, and maybe that'll help us out a bit if we knock them out of the war. Okay. All right. So we did Minnesota, or we did New Mexico, right? No, we didn't. Okay. So we actually have an advantage in some of this fighting here in New Mexico against the not yet upgraded rebel forces here. We almost destroyed a rebel cavalry brigade here. Almost. Everybody fought and did nothing. We damaged them good. No breakthrough though. Can I deploy a division or brigade to New Mexico? Nope, I'd have to march them there. Well, it's a corps anyway. All right, so we've got Halleck, who doesn't really probably need a larger force. What am I going to do with this headquarter? Where am I going to send it? I suppose we could use another headquarter near Washington. And if we are going to assault these forts, we probably want to start investing in siege weapons or other things like that, or additional corps of troops or whatnot. So I'll give one more corps to the east. Meanwhile, I still have about 1,000 points. No one except maybe the Navajo are really anywhere near coming onto the side of the Confederates. I probably need more ironclads, so let's go for one of these big bad boys. Let's actually get 2 of these guys. Screw the monitors, go for the ironclad frigates. Just dumped everything into them. Meanwhile, we've got to get the monitor, get her down to Charleston. I don't understand why the rebel morale would be so good relative to our own. But a 6-to-1 is not a good trade. Oh shit. Probably something to do with supply. These guys have no supply down there. Okay, we're going to concentrate down near Savannah. Let's go up to Hatteras and try and draw some supply. So you got to do a lot more like kind of micro-y stuff. All right, I'm going to bring a division of troops and another unit of Marines down to New Orleans. And we will make a play for Port Hudson. Well, we've been going for over 45 minutes. We're done with this turn. We need to go ahead and do the replay, but we don't really have enough time, I don't think, before the next to do another turn. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. We've gotten really close to Richmond. I think it's going to be a tough nut to crack. We can try and encircle it and see if that helps, but it's going to be a tough battle for Richmond, but we definitely have gained a lot of ground there. I feel like things could be very close to opening up in Tennessee, although I'm not sure I have sufficient forces dedicated there yet. I feel like the force concentration of my own troops on the western side of the Mississippi River is in reverse of what it needs to be. Those troops under Grant should be on the eastern side, but I can't really push them all over there because the Rebs have most of their strength on the western side. So that's an interesting situation. And New Mexico just continues to be a perpetual quagmire. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this look at Strategic Command American Civil War. This will conclude episode number, what are we, 12, 11? But I hope you guys enjoyed again, and until next time, as always, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.